Computer. Okay, so Sean, where are you based out of, man? You said Pacific time, so you're in California somewhere?
California, yeah. I'm in the
Oh,
Bay Area, like close to San Jose area.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been trading?
Oh man, about 3 or 4 years actually. So when I found Annie on, I forget the name of that platform that there were
Uh,
multiple traders posting their, option trades.
okay, okay. I think trade alike, maybe? No?
Uh, yeah, it was one of those apps that I
Okay,
found.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I
Sure.
was just getting started, right? So I had no clue, like, trying to do a million things. Okay, the first trade that I started with was what's his name? John Bond with Bond, the Bond guy. The
Okay.
he
Jason Bond, something like
Jason
that.
Bond, yeah, the one that went to, he got
Yeah,
fined and all that stuff. So
yeah.
started
Awesome.
there, disaster, lost a lot of money. Then, was trying to find one outlet somewhere where I can go.
Uh-huh.
Uh, you should give me 1 second, please.
Sure, sure. No worries. No worries. Take your time.
Sorry, man. Um, yeah, and then um I when I ran into Annie and her trades were, your guys' trade were really successful. But it would be once a day that trade would come in and I could be at work and totally miss it. Or it was, hit or miss, like, and while driving, I'm trying to get a trade in and
Oh,
it was a
yeah.
disaster,
Yeah,
man.
it ends up in disaster mostly like that.
It does. It does. And by the time I get to work, all right, it's
Okay.
so all these NVIDIA trades, all these trades I cannot do. So the only thing I can do is either,
Index or maybe
index
futures.
exactly.
Yeah.
So when the futures came along, and then when you started talking about the bot for this, I'm like, oh my God, man, this is a blessing in disguise. And now the only thing I can do, because even if I want to trade something that, which is, not software like Deer or something, right?
Uh-huh.
I have to get approval to buy
Sure.
and I have to get approval to sell. So if I get into a trade and if I want to get out of it, I have to wait for those
And it's
approvals.
a multiple day process, and by the time you
Yeah,
get it, it's
yeah.
it's
Sometimes it could take a
mm,
couple of hours.
yeah.
The trade is read already. you know, so it was such a headache. So now with this whole setup, with
So Sean,
the
how has bot helped you? I mean, since so I'll give you a little bit of background. I mean, we launched it about 3, 4 months ago, right? And so far, about 50 to 60 people are using it, uh, and about 15 to 20 of them I interact with them almost, if not daily, on a periodic basis, actively.
yeah,
About 30 to 40 of them are just sort of using it on their own. I don't know how they're doing. I don't ever hear
yeah,
back from them, either
yeah,
positive or negative. So I'm assuming it's okay. Otherwise, usually people are not don't hold back anything if they have to say, right?
yeah.
So since you are using it and a couple of other people, so I just wanted to hear, firsthand, like how are you using it? Yes, in terms of the trade criteria and all that is fine, but are you doing anything on your own to know when to enable it, when to disable it, stuff like that, or no?
Yeah. I'm gonna start with a comment, right? So
Okay.
I bought the bot, or when you released it in November, right?
Yes, I think you were.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so November, December was just, learning and back testing and all of that
sure.
stuff, right? And you see, by it's working well enough that I have considered leaving my 8 to 5 job, right?
Okay.
Obviously, it's too early, right?
Sure. Sure.
So if things continue the way they are continuing,
Okay.
like maybe by the end of the year, right, I can probably, you know,
Mashallah, that's
supplement
great.
my income and then add some,
Of
right?
course, of
So
course, of course.
it'll be financial freedom that this bot would provide me.
Okay,
Um, and I can share my screen if you don't mind.
of course. Let me see. I think I might have to allow you to do that. 1 second.
Well, yes, I see it here.
Okay, go ahead. I think you should be able to do it now.
Yeah. So basically, this is what I have going on over here. Let me know when you can see my screen.
It's coming up. Yep, I can see it.
Okay, good. So on top is are all your NQ levels. Sorry, I keep bothering you every day. Hey, do
Oh
you
no,
feel
no,
like
it's fine. I
level?
love doing that, man. And sometimes I forget, and sometimes I don't forget. Because I know you are the only one who's looking for them frequently and almost daily, and you're an active trader. So I love that. So yeah, anytime, man.
Yeah. Apologies for that. So my top is just that. So I have, the 5 minute chart, the 15 hourly, and then the 4 hour, right? So this is what I keep in front of me with your levels, right?
Okay,
On the left, I keep an eye on Dixie.
okay,
And that's why I keep, every so often asking for about the Dixie. And then
uh-huh,
this is just the money flow, the ADD that's, in the market, right, during the day. So this is just more informational and how where the money is flowing. But
okay,
basically, these are the charts that I'm going. And then so here on the right is my main account,
okay,
which I use Replicanto, and then I copied that trade to three of my other right here, right?
okay.
And then I have a couple of play accounts. I hit the daily target, and then there's still
Sean,
that.
are you using some sort of prop accounts too?
I am, yeah. These are all Apex.
Apex. Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. I got
these
it.
are all funded Apex account.
Perfect. Okay.
And then the two right here on the bottom are more of a play account,
Sure, that's fine.
you know. So kind of go with that. And then what I do is on the left bottom, so my strategies are, pretty um I'm gonna share, my main accounting. So if you're sharing, just black out the account
I will,
so
I
you
will,
understand.
I will. I'll
Yeah.
make sure that nothing of that sort comes up. Okay.
Yeah. And so basically the sim account is running, from the start of the market, right? So like
Okay.
5:30, I turn it on and then I let it run all day, and which
Mm-hmm.
is on the left. And it takes, trades, and then during the day, like I wasn't really trading today, but I just started and let it run, and it took actually four trades. One went red and the three were positive.
Okay.
So it ended that. And I just took, one in my play account. So that was that.
So,
Anyway, so my strategies, look,
mm-hmm.
man, you did all the hard work, right? You you made the ATM strategies. I didn't really feel like I need to go reinvent this
Okay.
because, I mean, you're a seasoned trader, you understand this more than I do. So I just stuck with your strategy, right?
Okay.
And what I do, so this is my main account. So right now.
Mm.
So I was close to my goal on Friday. So then if I'm close to my goal, then I just kind of go back to two. But anyways, what I do is I usually trade the um,
5 contracts. Okay.
5 contracts.
Okay.
And what they do is that, stop loss is zero after three, and that works fine.
Okay.
Now, again, my trading is, look, because I'm replicating it, my target is I want to hit 2,000 in a day. So
Okay.
technically, two good trades, right? And I'm over
And
500 in one account and replicates out to the other
and
ones,
you're good. Yeah.
and I'm good, right?
Okay.
So I don't know if it will show any of the trades, but anyway, so I don't I don't get into a trade if the distance is more than is less than 40, right?
Okay.
40 plus is when I start looking at getting into trades.
Okay.
And it's very simple. Like I said, this is the main account. I need to
Mm-hmm.
get two good green trades and I'm done for the day.
And Sean, apart from the distance of 40, how are you using the different time frames above? Are you taking any clues from there?
Oh, from the top? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where I think your reverse button comes into play, right? I I don't trade, or so there's a few things I look at. So I have the pivot points,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have your levels, right?
Okay.
So my ideal trade would be that Dixie is not close to any levels,
Okay.
and I am somewhere in between this
The
area,
the two levels.
two
Okay.
levels, right?
Okay.
Again, all I'm looking for is two green trades. So that between that for me 5:30, I know it's 8:30 for your time, but
Mm-hmm.
5:30 to 1, all I'm looking for is two green trades, and I'm technically done for my main earnings, right?
Okay.
And then the rest, like I said, the two accounts that I kind of mess around with,
Perfect.
those are there, right?
Awesome. Awesome.
So this the 5 minute chart, the 15 minute,
Uh-huh.
the hour, your levels, man. I mean, I cannot tell you how essential they are for my training. Like I
Awesome.
cannot, like if I had to guess, like I would probably do with the pivot tables, but like your levels, man, they
So
are
I'm glad
always
you're
on.
using them intelligently like that because not many people kind of grasp the idea of how to utilize the levels
Yeah,
efficiently, smartly, uh, and that's awesome, man. I'm
yeah,
really impressed actually.
and your Friday level when your level is so there's a pivot point here too, by the way, right?
Okay.
When your level and the pivot point aligns,
Hmm.
that's my moneymaker. So at that point, I sometimes don't take the bot trade, but I would play a bounce
You'll play
trade.
like a more of a discritionary trade at that time.
Yeah, then I would manually take that trade. But this
Okay.
was again not in
And Sean,
the
how do these pivot levels come up on the chart? Is there like an indicator or something, or
yeah, yeah. It's so in here you go add steady um under right here pivot points.
okay, okay,
So these and then I haven't turned on my the Ninja Trader charts too.
okay.
So right here, right? So
Ah,
17 8
I
20,
see.
and
Got it.
then 17 8 20 right here, right? So I mean they're pretty much same everywhere, right?
And every time period or every time frame chart will have a different pivot point.
So the 4 hour has a little different, but the 5, 15, and 1 hour is pretty much the same, and the 150 tick chart is pretty much the same.
Okay.
So like in this case, right? This is an hourly chart.
Hmm.
Like your level and the pivot points were like so there was a bounce off of here, right? And
Exactly.
there was a rejection off of here. So your when this happens,
Yep.
those are my manual money
Money
trades.
maker. Right.
Right,
Perfect.
right.
Awesome.
And
Love it.
it usually like it bounced off of that pivot and hit your level, right?
Hmm.
And then whatever. And this one also, right? It just hit that pivot point close to your level and then
I just dropped. Hmm.
usually I get careful with the next pivot level because it could be a bounce point, but
Okay.
this one just went through, right? Um, so I use yeah,
So
those are the
So
levels that I
apart, so okay, so one of the things if I have to, let's say, guide other people or who are new to this or who are, kind of still struggling to make it a consistent thing. So
yeah,
if I tell them that, hey, look for things like this pivot table, distance mode, again, everybody is different,
yeah,
right? Everybody trades differently, everybody looks at charts differently.
yeah.
And generally speaking, trying to exactly mirror copy somebody does not work that way
Doesn't
because
right.
of your risk profile, because of, access to capital, things like that, right? Since you have done this thing so many times, you are doing it every day, so you have enough screen time to understand and kind of, know when to do what, right?
Yeah. And
So, exactly.
yeah, the bots make it easy enough that I could be actually on a meeting
Hmm.
and if these two start separating, right, and they're over, the 40, the
Okay.
separation's over 40, then
Okay.
I'm in, right?
Perfect.
It rarely, like, yes, it's trading. It sometimes goes against you. We all know that, right? It's not
Right.
always green.
And
Uh,
Sean, your ATM's template is so how many? So do you trail your stop or at all or no?
do I trade? Sorry,
Do
what
you
about?
trail your stop loss?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's there. The what you had started.
Oh, okay, so you're going with that same thing. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so my stop loss is what we had initially set to. My only thing is like, I do 5
Five
this
contract. I understand
yeah,
that. Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
And then
Okay.
stop loss the same thing at 30 and then the zero
Perfect.
strategy here right after that. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay.
I haven't changed any of this. I think the only thing I need to add in here is maybe a trail, but
Mhm.
um the trades
And
have been
Sean, do you
pretty
trade ES as well or just NQ?
I used to do ES.
I mean, ES is not as wild as NQ, so
Yeah, and when ES is man, it's a different beast, right? And Q like yeah, two trades and I'm done. ES sometimes I have to sit there
yeah,
and
you
really
have to sit there and watch
yeah.
it, and exactly, I know.
And so actually, so before this, my let me see. this is what my setup was.
Awesome. That's
I was just doing this is what it looked like. So I had
so this
this
is
was before that. So I was doing ES as well as the NQs, right?
okay.
And then same thing, Dixie here. I have the ADD here, and then the charts and levels and stuff. But again, man, I'm a lazy guy. Like it works. Like the NQ works, hits my target.
Hey,
I'm done.
that's fine. I was just asking because I mean, of course, if things are working for you the way they are, and you kind
Right.
of, since you've traded it for so long now, you kind of know how things work, what level to play, which one to ignore, things like that. So that's great. You don't have to go try to find new thing. You just have to rinse and repeat this thing. So
Exactly. And
that's
that
all that matters.
and that like that's what exactly the bot did, right? It just brought that efficiency. Like I'm not guessing anymore, right?
Right.
Um, I was still, I would still have to like with your levels, and it's more my problem that I would get impatient, right? I would, it's like, come on, I need to take a trade, and that's where I would start making mistakes, and
Okay.
it was more me than anything else, right? Um, and then with the bot now, it's just that man, this
Awesome.
it happens so quick, and like I
Zabardast.
tell my wife, like I'm done for the day, and like
मजा आ गया यार
there's a when I was a kid, I heard this joke in Pakistan, right? There was a Pathan guy, um, and he was selling oranges, right? Just like
Okay.
hey, um, so this guy comes in the morning. He's like, hey, how much are the oranges? Like, whatever, right? 5 rupees a dozen, right?
Uh-huh.
He's like, all right, pack up everything and I'll take it. So the Pathan guy sits there and goes, no, koche tumko nahi bechega hum. It's like, so the guy's like, why? Why would you not sell it to me, right? He's like, dude, think about it. If I sell you my stock, what am I gonna do all day? Right? So I have that same thing. If I get done in the morning, and that's why I had these like two play accounts. Now I'm
Eh,
like, all right, what am I gonna do
Sean,
all
have
day?
you observed, and you can say no, it doesn't really matter. Have you observed anything to do with during what time you enable it? Like, is it like from 9:30 till 11 at night, London session, or you really haven't, you know, got
So
seen any
yeah,
uh
the Asia and those sessions, I rarely play against. The move is so slow
so
that
slow? Yep,
it
yep,
it takes away a lot of my time away from family and everything else.
of
So
course,
I
of course.
rarely deal with it.
Okay, okay,
Mainly like when the news is coming out, so 5:30 my time, right?
okay,
8:30 your there. So I'm there at that time,
okay.
or 6:30, or your 9:30 the market open time.
Hmm.
That first hour, maybe first half hour, that's the movement time. And
Okay,
then if I'm done with that at that point, like I said, I turn off my
yeah.
main account. I'm
And
not
then
doing.
you okay. Do you work from home or you have to go
I
to
do.
office?
I'm 100% remote at this.
Awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
great.
And then, like I said, with the work limitations and trading and stuff, this, like, when I heard you say it, I'm like,
This
I
is
can't believe things are falling that well aligned for me.
नहीं यार
So,
अब मैं इसमें मैं और भी एक दो काम कर रहा हूँ मुझे कुछ लोगों ने ना और भी रीच आउट किया था और they give me some good feedback
yeah.
like for example this one where somebody only wants to take a trade only a certain number of trades during one run ठीक है ना
Yeah.
uh, एक वो and then the total P&L for example if you have the strategies running on two different charts but you want the bot or the strategy to consider that overall total P&L of the account right so वो अभी capability नहीं है तो that is
Right.
something that I'm looking to add to and anything else while you trade while you since you spend so much time if you come up with something please do share with me I would love to see if I can incorporate something in there because होता है ऐसे कि I look at from one lens ठीक है ना
Yeah. Yeah.
so by looking at it from one lens and yes Annie does give me her input but somebody who's using it from outside of my household I would
Right.
love that input uh,
Yeah.
UC Max is something another one I'm working on I really love it it's giving me
Yeah.
good results and I might actually reach out to you to test it out for me ठीक है ना
Sure. Yeah. No
uh,
problem.
uh,
I was still on your first version until like yesterday.
oh
I skipped the second one.
Okay.
Like most of my, so the tick count and what is this one actually? I don't know what this is.
The top one is the distance between the 250.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yes. And the one below it is the difference between, I believe, 50 and 100 EMA.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so I
Again,
was
if
just,
you don't use it, it's fine. You don't have to worry about it.
yeah,
But yes, if you consider the distance between 50 and 200, then definitely that top one is something that you want to keep an eye on. Uh, and this reverse one, I think the way I was saying, okay, if the price action is coming closer to one of the pivot points or support, and you do not want to take a trade they I mean you want to take an opposite trade there, right?
yeah,
Because जब वो pivot पे आएगा या support पे आएगा तो वो EMAs already stretched होंगी और खुली होंगी, ठीक है ना?
right,
So
right.
so the bot will look for any pullback at that time to short it, but you don't want it to short, you want कि वो long
Yeah,
करे. So that is something you will have to manually enable the reverse button, but if you don't want it, then that's okay, you don't have to use it.
yeah. And I can, like I said, two trades, and that's all I needed.
Okay.
And I might not even ever use it, but I
So,
think it's very
Sean,
useful.
will this be a true statement if I say that you are a little bit selective in terms of when to enable?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
My main accounts, right, like the four that I have,
Hmm.
uh, I I am very selective. I only, like I said, if the distance is over 40,
Right.
is where I start looking at
So
enabling it.
once it's over 40, let's say that's tick mark. Then what's
That's
next?
that's one. And then my Dixie level and
Okay.
the chart level, right? So those three things have to be in place for me to go. Now, if it's getting to a closer to a your level or a pivot point,
Uh-huh.
I don't enable it.
Okay.
I wait for the next trade.
So
Now,
ideally 40 tick, mostly between two levels, ठीक है?
yeah,
So that it has room to move basically, ठीक है ना? That's what you want.
pretty
Uh,
much
and then DXY, Dixie to just sort of as a supporting chart.
a supporting chart, right? And like when this happens, these are all pivot points, right?
Yep.
I hate it because those are the trades I'm like, see right here, this pivot point, like it just kept rejecting it
Hmm.
for a long time, right?
Right.
And then close to this. So this is the hard area for me to trade. So now if it was here, and if your on this between your levels,
Hmm.
that's a moneymaker for me. And 80%, 90% of the time, the trades are going to work
Awesome.
in my favor.
Great,
Um,
man.
the new thing that I started looking at, and I don't want to talk about it, but I'm just gonna look for just a so the VWAP level, right?
Okay.
So sometimes it supports it, and sometimes it rejects from it too.
Okay.
Again, I haven't determined what I'm doing with it yet. I'm just watching it.
Sure. Yeah, I
But
mean, at
it
least you put it on the chart to just kind of, observe it.
to learn, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it kept like bouncing off of that VWAP level
yeah.
too, right? On
Yeah,
Friday.
I know a lot of
So
people do consider that in their
yeah, so
intraday
if that
trading.
happens, and then that's probably going to give me a bad trade.
Okay.
So I haven't. Again, I'm still trying to figure this piece out.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah,
Great,
but
man.
like I said, the levels that I get from you, it's. I hope that people start looking at that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just. I mean, look at this right here, man. I mean, like it's you've done all the hard work. It's just now I got to do the easy work
Yeah,
of
that's
enable it.
exactly. So no, that's why, Sean, yeah, I wanted to have this conversation with you and a couple of other people. I'm meeting somebody here in 5, 10 minutes again, somebody
Yeah,
who's been using it for some time. So I want to
yeah,
see how they're using it and just publish these videos for others to take advantage of, right?
yeah,
To be able to, shorten the learning curve for them.
yeah,
Because what I feel is a lot of people come or buy this, I wouldn't say for the wrong reason, but they apply a wrong approach towards it. ठीक है ना?
yeah,
They just think they're going to enable it, go back to sleep, come back, and it will all be done, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yes, there could be a day or two when it's like that, but then most of the time you want to combine other things around it to be able to use it smartly. It's a tool, right? It's not a magic
yeah,
wand.
yeah.
So
And to support that, what you just said, that's the reason I run the simulation all day,
Okay.
because that helps me analyze, right? That, all right, the trade was red. And yes, it supports my theory that I should have waited for the 40,
Okay.
the difference,
Ah,
or,
I see.
whatever that level happens. So
Okay.
that actually, this simulation chart actually helped me build my confidence
Okay.
quite a bit,
Okay.
right? Originally, when I was, I was one of those guys, one of those people, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna let it run, and
Uh-huh.
as soon as I hit that 1,000, I'm gonna, turn it off.
Okay.
But sure, it could be done, like you said. But uh, as soon as it goes red, the human factor goes in, and I get nervous, and I start doing things
Exactly.
out of whack, and then I end up going more negative, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the
That's exactly.
simulation, which keeps running, it, like, it took two these trade this morning. Like, I wasn't trading, but I had it running just to kind of understand, right?
Okay.
Now so wherever the entry was, right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I I probably would not have manually turned mine on, but
Okay.
this helped me understand that, what, there was a trade here.
Right.
Um, like, I if the level, because the 50 is below,
Uh-huh.
if it's getting close to 100, I usually turn it off, right?
Okay.
I turn off the, like, it worked here, right? It got to
Sure.
100, and then, it worked fine. And it will work. I'm not saying, but again,
I
I don't need
understand.
that many trades. I just need two good
Two
trades.
good trades and
Comes
you're
to
okay.
the 50, goes here, one's done, and I'm done for the day.
Perfect. Perfect.
So even, like
Um,
I said, the reverse, I think it's a great one for people who are, continuously
mhm.
trading. Um, can I see it used for my at this point? I don't know. But the other
Right.
one that you were talking about, the total profit, and then
Right.
take two
That's something
trades
that you can
after
use.
that,
Hmm.
those I can definitely see myself using, right?
Okay. Okay. I'll definitely get them coded sooner versus later. Uh,
Ooh, yeah.
awesome, man. Thank you
Like,
for.
again, I'm happy to, you want me to test it out. I'll be happy to do
Yes,
so.
I
Like I
will.
was
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
I set up my second laptop,
ठीक है.
uh, because that was my old, like, I had your old strategy on
I
this, and
think
this.
I updated your Ninja Trader machine ID, right?
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So
Thank
you
you.
should be okay. If not, let me know.
Yeah, like, I
But
have that set up, and I'm happy to test it for you on
ग्रेट
that.
ग्रेट थैंक यू यार बहुत
Anytime.
शुक्रिया आपका अपने टाइम निकाला
और कोई बात ही नहीं है
because
सर.
I really thought or maybe I should have had this conversation before but at least chalo not bad still
Yeah.
not too late but yeah really wanted for others to see how smartly you are using it or other people or what kind of other problems they're having so that's great man thank you for
Yeah, happy to help anytime, sir. Glad to
but
be part of the family, man. I appreciate all you do.
no, man. Yeah, Sean, you have been with us for some time now, you know. I'm glad I got to talk to you like that and got to see your face so that I can now, you know, whenever you ask for NQ levels, I can see your face and say, okay, this is the guy asking me.
But that, like I said, I mean, without that, I don't trade. Like,
Okay.
if I don't have the levels, I'm not.
That was great
Anytime, bro.
talking to you, my man.